I'm going to share something with you. That might put me in a very negative light, yeah.
Relationships are not my forte.
See if someone grabbed up my wife or something, completely different ballgame.
I'll walk away from it, and this has been like a therapy session.
This is Umar Ahmed for IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. We're in Riyadh in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. We're just having a chat off camera, Roman, about how amazing it is here, really, just to chill out, and the food, the weather. How have you found Saudi Arabia?
I found it incredible. You know, I've been treated like a king over here. I'm not even exaggerating that. All of us have. They took fantastic care of us. We're in the best accommodations that Saudi Arabia has to offer. The food's incredible. The weather's nice. So I'm just kind of enjoying it, really. And I don't want it to end, if I'm being honest with you. I feel like I'm in heaven.
Well, I know you've got a fight coming up soon, and we'll discuss what's going on in your career, but let's start with your brother. That's why we're all here. Well, a couple of years of trash talk between him and Jake Paul, so it's finally on. Is it a sense of relief in the Fury family and Fury camp that this is actually happening now on Sunday night?
Yeah, definitely. You know, it's finally on after a lot of cancellations on whatever else, you know, politics and stuff. You know, for a long time, I don't think that we ever thought the fight would actually take place. I thought it's one of those fights that talked about, but something had always happened, like a curse fight. But it's finally here now. I feel like Jake Paul's talked himself into a bit of a corner, you know, very much underestimated Tommy. And I've just seen a video there of what he's saying. He's talking absolute rubbish. He looks rattled to death to me. And it's now slowly dawning that in a few days' time, it's the end of Jake Paul for me. He's going to get totally embarrassed, and, you know, where does he go from that, really?
Yeah, I think we've all just seen that video that you're referring to, and it's not the first time he's mentioned Molly May, Tommy's missus. It's not the first time he's mentioned Tommy's newborn daughter, Bambi, as well. So has he crossed the line there?
Yeah, 100%. You know, boxing's boxing. Obviously, you need to hype the fight up, get interest, but, you know, I don't believe you should ever bring what's the word? Personal things into it. You know, no need for mentioning children, you know. But for me, that's a positive on Tommy's part, because it's showing that he's rattled, he's worried, and he's saying anything and everything to try and get under Tommy's skin. But Tommy's prepared for this. He knows what Jake Paul is. He knows what you get with Jake Paul. So Tommy just needs to keep his mind on the game, focus, and get him out of there on Sunday night, which he will do.
When we hear Jake talk, he is very confident, and he's a great salesman. That's his job. He lives on social media, and he's fantastic in the way he talks. But do you guys truly believe, when he's speaking, do you guys truly believe that he truly believes what he's saying? Because he seems ultra confident.
Yeah, you know, funnily enough, I was having this conversation with my friend, and I do think that he's deluded. You know, I think he does genuinely believe what he's saying. But there's only so far that delusion can take you in the sport before you get that reality check. He's fought Anderson Silva, Tyron Woodley, which are, you know, great Hall of Famers in their respected sports, but they're past it. Anderson Silva's come to 50, and Tyron Woodley, you know, he got released from the UFC for not doing anything, and he didn't do anything in Jake Paul's fights. But the reality check is now a young, hungry Tommy Fury, who I've been in camp with every day for the last 12 weeks, and I've just seen him up levels. He's been destroying sparring partners. And I've never been as confident for a fight. Like, usually I get butterflies and nervous, but for him it's just a routine KO victory, and I can't see any other outcome than a KO. That's how confident I am. I've seen him. He's been in the gym with fantastic people, a lot better than Jake Paul, a lot more experience, you know, one in, one out, and just destroying them. So, yeah, I'm very confident.
I've heard this a lot about Tommy from people who have seen him spar and people who have sparred him, and there's no one better than you. You've grown up with him and watched him in a ring, etc., all your life. But there seems to be a perception from the boxing public, if you like, going off his 8 performances that he's had in a ring, that he's not really up to it. Do you see why people say that off his 8 professional fights that he's had?
No, not really, you know. If you look at his last fight, it was an exhibition where he was told before a fight, you know, don't throw your punches properly, you know, go out there and put on a boxing show. So he was never trying to hurt his opponent, he was just trying to have an exhibition. And I think a lot of people are looking at Anthony Taylor as well, that fight. And I was saying in another interview that, you know, when you come to fight against a man who's a lot smaller than you and he comes to survive, not to fight, you know, anybody will look bad. So I think the Jake Paul team and these other peoples as well, I'm shocked that, you know, the boxing experts are picking Jake Paul, which a lot of them have. But these are the only fights I'm looking at which they're looking at. But you can't look at past fights. Every fight is a different day, innit? You know, every performance is different, and you can't judge anyone. And I think he's just been underestimated by everybody. They're looking at him more of like the reality TV star than the experienced boxer that's done it from being a child. But yeah, a couple of days' time, all the talk's done, and the truth will be revealed on the 26th.
Well, it's probably better in some ways that, you know, Jake Paul's the bookie's favourite. A lot of people in boxing are picking Jake Paul because when Tommy, in your opinion, when he wins this Sunday night, you have to show him the respect for it, I suppose, because if everyone just said Tommy's going to blast him out and he's going to win easy, what you guys think, but if everyone thought that, people would just say, oh, that was routine and easy, which they might say about Jake Paul anyways, but if people are picking him and he's the bookie's favourite, then you've got to give Tommy some credit, I suppose.
Yeah, 100%, you know, but I think it's one of them. When Tommy wins, it's kind of like he's expected to win, so that's the kind of way I think they'll throw it. I hope I'm wrong, because it does sound negative, but that's what I'm kind of, you know, getting off people, that they'll say, oh, he's a professional boxer, he's supposed to win, Jake Paul's just a novice. But at the same time, if Jake Paul wins, of course he deserves respect, because I've seen a class Tommy, the best Tommy I've ever seen, and it's boxing, anything can happen. So yeah, he deserves respect if he wins, but I can't see it in my opinion.
Last couple of things on this fight, talking about people picking Jake Paul in fights. I don't know if you saw a clip of our interview with Derek Chisora earlier this week. He said that he'd bet 200 grand that Jake Paul right now would beat Carl Froch. Your thoughts on that?
Has Jake Paul cast some sort of spell over the world or something? Because I'm not saying as a biased Tommy Fury's brother, but what are they seeing that's so special about this lad? In my opinion, he's not athletic, he's got slow feet. You know, he's not the best mover, is he? You know, he's got a decent right hand, but is that enough to warrant a victory over the world champion, you know, Hall of Famer Carl Froch? I don't know, but these people, they must be saying it for headlines. You know, they all seem to be jumping on the Jake Paul bandwagon. But listen, there's only one way to find out, isn't there? Let's get it on. I'm sure Kyle would love that.
And lastly, final prediction, how does this pan out? How does this pan out in your head on Sunday night? You expect a Tommy Fury stoppage, I'm guessing?
Yeah, 100%. I think a Tommy Fury KO between round 1 to 4. I really can't see it going over that. Just from what I've seen in the gym, I know he's been sparring and his confidence, the old aura I'm getting off him. You know, you can sense, you know, fight week, how they're feeling and all that. He's been super confident. And yeah, he's kind of just enjoying it like a big holiday, to be honest with you. Tommy Fury KO, early.
Okay, let's move on to yourself. I know you're out March 11th, so guessing you've been in camp here, still in Saudi Arabia, training away. So talk to me about your fight and yeah, buzzing to get back in that professional ring again.
Yeah, 100%. I've been in camp with Tommy for 12 weeks. I've still got another 2 weeks before my fight on the 11th of March in Bolton on the Alex Matvienko show. Feeling very good, you know. From my last camp, I was only doing twice a week sparring and running, to be honest with you. I didn't really have a proper trainer. Jimmy was my trainer, but obviously he's in Doncaster, so I was only seeing him like the twice a week for sparring. But this time I've been at Alex Matvienko's elite boxing alongside my dad and Bob and Tommy, and I've been getting sparring 4 or 5 times a week in. I've been training Monday to Saturday, twice a day. So you're going to be seeing a completely transformed Roman Fury. And obviously I've been looking at my fight previously, and there's been lots to improve on. And I can't wait to go and show people what I've got, you know. This is a really good fight for me, and I can't wait.
Look forward to it. We'll have to ask, what's the situation with Anthony Taylor? Is there one? And do you want that fight this year?
I don't really know, to be honest with you. He's a big mouth, isn't he? I mean, I'm not going to go looking for that fight. Obviously, he's a small dude, and I'm a big cruiserweight. If it happens along the line, it does, but, you know, I'm just going to continue along my way in whatever I do. But obviously, if the money's right, of course, I can go and slap him up, no problem.
Where did that even stem from with Anthony?
I don't know. I think Tommy's last fight, somebody said something like, oh, you two should fight someone, then it kind of brewed on there. I never initiated nothing, but, you know, if he wants it, he can have it. You know, if the money's good, but I'm not going to go looking for him because I just don't see the value in that, you know. What's the point in that? What am I going to get from fighting Anthony Taylor? Who is Anthony Taylor at the end of the day, apart from a big mouth?
Just before we close off, just something out of interest I wanted to ask you. Obviously, very early on in your professional career, but you have got the Fury name. People will naturally want to watch you because you're a Fury. So I was just wondering how comes, I don't know if any major promoters have approached you, but I'd have thought perhaps even though you've only had one professional fight, a major promoter might have come in for you just simply because you bring in ratings for them at the start, and then they can sort of develop you forward. So I don't know if you just want to make comment on that.
Yeah, 100%. I have been approached, but the way I see it is I've never had any amateurs, and I don't want to rush my career just because I'm 26. I want to do things right, so I want to get these good learning fights on these small little shows. I think that'd be a very good way to go. You know, a few fights there, and then go on to the bigger shows. I think that's naturally how it should progress. So I'm just going to go down that route when I'm ready. I do want to get a little bit more experience and you know, on that side of things. So that's what I'll do. You know, that's definitely what I'll end up with.
Yeah, fair enough. I hear that. Well, listen, Roman, thank you very much for your time here in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Best of luck to Team Fury on Sunday night, live on BT Sport Box Office, and I'm sure we'll get a word with you after the fight. All right.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
I'm gonna share something with you. That might put me in a very negative light. Yeah.
Relationships are not my forte.
See if someone grabbed up my wife or something, completely different ballgame.
I'll walk away from it, and this has been like a therapy session.